What's good, nerds? So I got the XTEINK about a month ago, and it's actually called the XTEINK, but I personally like to call it the XTEINK because I think it sounds a little bit better. But I did make a video about how to use it, and a lot of people seem to like it, and I want to do a little bit of a challenge for myself. So instead of reading like books for the last 30 days, instead I've tried to stick with using this device. Recently, the CrossPoint software that I use came out with a new update, so the design is a lot better. And I found that I really like this device, but over the past 30 days, there's a few caveats that I found, and I don't really like a lot of the features and things that it has, but there is a little bit of a silver lining to it, and I'm still gonna use this device, but definitely not as my primary way to read. So let me get into the 3 different caveats and why I still like it. So my first week with this thing was pretty exciting. I sort of like to call it like a honeymoon phase. It took about a month to ship this thing, so I had a lot of excitement for like when it came, and I was like all ready to like use it and stuff like that. And I thought it would be a little bit more like a phone experience. I know that sounds kind of weird because it's like an e-reader. Like you wouldn't buy a Kindle and think it's gonna be like a phone, but I sort of did when I first got it. And so that first week I was just playing around with it, like doing a lot of different things, like adding books and all that kind of stuff. And I did notice it was a little bit slow and things like that, but obviously it is a reader that you can buy and find online for like 30, 40 bucks. So I didn't expect too much. Like I didn't expect it to be the fastest experience in the world or anything like that. And when I found out about this readme.club website, I started going to that a lot and finding all these different things. I'll link it down in the description if you want to check it out. So I added a lot of books to this thing. The more I started reading with it, the first issue became super apparent because a lot of times I read before bed because it's just kind of calming and relaxing. So I started reading before bed with this thing, and I quickly realized that I can't see it because it is an e-ink display. And so that is a problem, I guess, with any e-ink display, but it wasn't something that I originally thought about it. Now, this is obviously not the biggest problem in the world because it's something that you have to expect when using a display like this. But my problem with it is that, especially when reading, I can't use a reading light. So a lot of times before, like when I turn the lights out and I had my reading light on, it would help because I could see the book, but obviously I can't hook the reading light onto my XTEINK. And the other problem I have with it is like you really need a lot of ambient light. Even me just turning on my bedside table lamp, it was pretty hard to read. So I feel like it would be a lot easier to read on my phone, especially in dark environments. But obviously when you have a device like this, it comes with like being more productive, I guess I say, because you don't have to worry about like getting notifications and stuff while you read. Like you're completely shut out. You're not really connected to the internet with this thing. So that makes it nice, but I can't really do that in dark environments, especially not like right before bed or anything like that. Like I have to have all the lights on to like actually use the device. But maybe that's really only a problem with me. Like I guess if you don't read before bed, it won't be as big of an issue. Now the viewing angle and everything like that isn't that big of a problem, especially compared to the speed of the device. Now this wasn't something that I initially even realized because it was running pretty quickly, and CrossPoint recently came out with a new version update. This is being maintained not really by a team, it's just one guy, and you can go, and I have another video if you want to check it out on how to install this CrossPoint software, but it looks a lot better than the stock OS, and it's nice because you can transfer files directly from your phone to the device. You don't have to do the whole SD card transfer system, like you would just do it straight from your phone. So it is great in that sense, but unfortunately this device just has a lot of hardware limitations, so it's not very fast. And when you have something like this new CrossPoint software, I've been trying to run it, it's been lagging like a ton, unfortunately. So it has made it not unbearable to read, but like let's say I'm reading and then like I go to the next page and it's just slow or slugging along. And sometimes like when it goes to sleep, that's where it lags and doesn't want to turn back on. It'll just stay stuck on the screen that says entering sleep mode, and I can't turn it back on. And unfortunately, like that is a big turnoff. It takes me out of using the device. And that's something that definitely could be fixed in the software because this wasn't as big of a problem. Now, luckily, if you did install this update, you can revert it back on the website, which is what I ended up doing. But I don't really want to have to do that, especially since I like the way that the new CrossPoint software looks, but it seems like the device is just limited in the sense that it can't really have all these different tasks going on. And you'll especially start to notice it once you load like more than like 5 books on here. When I had 2 books, it was running fine. And then the more books I added, or the longer the length of the book, that's when I started to realize how slow this thing can get. Now, lastly, talking about all the different books you can add. In my original video, I talked about how you can add EPUB files to this device, but now that I've used it a little bit, I would strongly recommend, like you technically can do it, but I would recommend not doing that and converting all the files to an XTC format. That way you can change the formatting. But even when you do convert everything to that XTC format, it doesn't always work out. Like sometimes you get weird rendering errors, or like everything will be in caps and then lowercase. And that again takes you way out of the reading experience. It's something that I think I would prefer the experience of a book over reading this thing. But again, like if I don't own a book, this is a great alternative to like actually trying to read the stuff instead of just reading it on my phone, because it does give you that paper feel, sort of like in the sense where you're reading it and your eyes are not like being strained by the screen or anything like that. So that part is great, but unfortunately, yeah, it's not gonna be a book replacement for me. And this challenge, it didn't really fail, but this device is not really what I thought it would be, where I carry it on the back of my phone all the time and read when I'm on the go. I just find it is convenient that it is on the back of your phone, but it's not as convenient as it could be, if that makes sense. Like it's too slow. If I'm like out in public, I don't wanna have to worry about it. Like I'd rather just read on my phone or read an actual book if I can bring it somewhere. But I'm going on a trip soon, so I will be bringing this on my trip and trying to use it like on a plane, because I don't really like having to stare at a screen. I mean, the flight's 14 hours long, so I don't wanna have to stare at a screen for like 10 hours of that, or even 5 hours of that. It just strains your eyes. So I do like reading on this thing, just not enough to replace everything. The silver lining for this device is that it's still a good reader. I don't really regret my purchase, because you can get this thing for about 40 bucks. It is worth that $40. Any book that you don't want to buy but you want to read a little bit, like I think this is a good option or a good alternative. Now I did see a lot of people talk about getting a Kindle instead and then modding that Kindle. Now I can't really speak for that. I've never used the modded Kindle stuff, and I've never modded a Kindle. If you are thinking about purchasing one, I would say look at those other videos where they mod the Kindles and stuff, but again, I can't speak to that. But it did look like those might be a little bit better of an experience, and they're a little bit bigger. And I know obviously this thing is a little bit small for a lot of people, and especially if you have bad eyesight and stuff. I mean, you can change the font size to be bigger. It's like if you do have that big font size, then your book goes from 300 pages to 600 because you're doubling the size of everything. And then you also have to convert all the formats. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know if this is for everybody. It was a good purchase for me, and I'm still gonna continue to use it, but just not as much as I originally thought. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. If you like this video, or if you wanna see any more like tech focused or related videos, be sure to drop a subscribe down below. Or if you wanna see all the products I'm bringing on this trip that's coming up, be sure to click that video right there, because I talk about all the different things I'm bringing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.